Hey everyone, welcome to GardenFork. These are the Labradors. We got a viewer mail asking about how to build a trellis because in one of our other gardening videos, someone saw a trellis in the background and they said, hey, you let go of the ball? Would you show us how to make a trellis? So that's what we're going to do today. You can see here we've got a couple of them. We use them for our sugar snap peas and string beans and cucumbers.
And our hawk rest.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's a broad-shouldered hawk that sits up on the trellis here and dives for mice and stuff and moles, so we love that.
Actually, I think she gets worms.
Really?
That's what we've seen. We've seen her get like insects. There's
That was an insect
now.
right there. Anyway, let me show you the trellises we have. Because we have raised beds, you can secure the bottom of your trellis right into the edge of the raised bed. See, the trellis goes right down in, and I screwed into the wooden edge of the bed here. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have that, you can still make a trellis, and we're going to show you how. But also, just use scrap wood, whatever you get around. We also have a lot of limbs and sticks and stuff in the woods, so we just go out there and grab them. But we're going to make some out of scrap lumber today, just to show you how to do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a garden, you know. These are some sugar snap peas we have.
Are they using the trellis? Kinda.
Yeah, they always want to lean toward the sun, so I just kind of take them and wrap them back around like that. All right, I'm not going to throw it if you don't give it to me. Right now we're growing sugar snap peas here. You can also do snow peas in the early spring as well. Peas in general don't like the heat, so these will grow. We'll get some nice sugar snap peas, and then they're going to just die out because it just gets too hot. So what I do is this thing called succession planting. So these guys are already growing nice, and I just planted some beans. So these are string beans that are just coming up out of the ground here. And these guys will start to grow up the trellis as well.
We have to share.
Yeah, they'll share for a little bit, and then the snow peas are going to die out. They're going to have some really nice snow peas we'll have for just snacks and salads and stuff. And then the string beans will take over the trellis. So we're using one trellis and getting two different crops out of it.
Brilliant.
All right, we're here in the basement. The pups are running around. I've got some scrap pieces. This is called usually like a furring strip or a 1x2. This is similar. It's just some skinny wood that we have. But this is, what, 6-8 feet? I mean, it just depends on how high of a trellis you want. We're going to want 2 pieces that go up and 2 pieces that go this way.
How high do sugar snap peas grow?
You know, the sugar snap peas only get up to about here, but the string beans will go higher. So I like it higher. The string beans will go all the way top to the trellises we have out there. So the trick here is you want 2 side pieces of equal height, and these happen to be of equal height already. If you go to the lumber yard and you're buying the lumber, you want a 1x2 that's 8 foot long. It'll work good for this.
And it's not scrap.
And you want two of those at 8 foot. And then you need to determine the width of your trellis. Now the width of our garden beds are 4 feet, so I want it just a little smaller than 4 feet wide. But it's really whatever width you want to make it. If you make it too wide, it's going to get kind of unwieldy, so I would suggest 4 feet wide at the max, okay?
Okay.
So you could take a 1x2 by 8 foot and cut it in half, and that's your top and your bottom. All right, so let's cut some wood. Okay, I'm going to cut this piece of scrap into our 2 crossbars. I measured it. Divide it in half. That's the middle. Measure twice, cut once, you know. For the corners where the cross pieces meet the top up and down pieces, you want a corner brace because we don't want this thing to be wobbly. We want it to be nice and solid. So you can use some scrap wood. This is a 1x6. You could also use something a little smaller, but we're going to basically cut triangles here. So let me show you. By the way, having this kind of saw is called a compound miter saw or a chop saw.
Does everyone have one?
No, but if you're thinking of buying a saw, this one works really well. You could also hand cut these with a saw as well, just with a hand saw.
It'll take a while.
There you go. All right, here we are. We have our corner pieces, our up and down pieces, and our side pieces. Pretty straightforward. Take the corner and we line it up. You want this to be straight. Cordless drill with one of these pilot hole drillers. The pilot hole keeps the wood from splitting when we put the screw in.
Could you just nail it?
You can nail it, but it's going to get wobbly loose after a while. Guess who's the noisiest one here?
Charlie Pop.
They're really wound up.
How do you know where to put the pointers in that end?
Well, you have to think about, are you going to go into a raised bed like we are, where we can just drill it into the side, or are you going to have to put it into just, the ground you garden in? For the ground you garden in, I'd go like 1.5 feet, or this is like 1 foot and change. But then you might have to tie this down with some stakes on either side. And keep it from going like this. Last screws here. So again, simple, just some scrap wood. So let me show you how we're going to put this in. So we always like to put these at the end of the bed. Get yourself some twine from the hardware store. And just take one end and tie it here. Then we're just going to wrap this thing up and down. Some fruits and vegetables need a little more structure than this, a little more strength than the trellis. Probably like cucumbers if you're going to try and vertically grow squash or something. So you can also go across with your string, and I found this kind of neat way to do that, and that's to use a cable staple gun. It's the kind of staple gun that has the little hooped staples.
Yeah.
See, that goes just like that.
Yeah.
It's a work of art, isn't it?
It's a little crazy.
It's great. You can do this. Doesn't take much, just some scrap wood,
String.
string,
Staples.
staples, some corner braces.
Dirt.